Pleasant morning to you. My name is Shamlan Sasidaran and I will be your moderator for today. Today we will be discussing the research we have done regarding the roles of occupational safety and health regulations in the workplace. In this topic, we will be discussed in two main elements which are roles of OSH, legal requirements in business management, and also Occupational Safety and Health Act in Malaysia and its salient features. Before we start, let's begin with self-introduction.
Hi, my name is Sarun Anaragi Sangaraj. I am from class BMM section 1/2 and my metric number is B0919103226.
Thank you for the self-introduction. Let us get into the discussion now. So, starting with the definition, as we know in our country, Malaysia is a fast-growing country and well developed, especially in industry sector. Therefore, the way OSH management is implemented in is very important. There are two acts bonding all organizations in Malaysia in order to ensure the workers are being protected from all risks coming from the workplace hazard, which are Factory and Machinery 1967 and also Occupational Safety and Health Act 1994. So, based on this act, Saravanan, what do you think about the role of OSH?
Ensuring workplace safety is the shared responsibility of WorkSafe BC employers and employees. All three have different roles to play in ensuring workplace safety is a priority. The meaning of WorkSafe BC is consult with and educates employers and workers about safe work practices.
Okay, what is the employer responsibilities?
The employer must ensure that all work is carried out without undue risk of injury or industrial disease. Machinery and equipment are capable of safely performing the functions for which they are used. Next is all permanent and temporary buildings and structures are capable of withstanding any stresses likely to be imposed on them. All buildings, excavation structures, machinery, equipment, tools, and places of employment are maintained in good condition, so workers will not be endangered. And the lastly is regular inspection are made to prevent structures, grounds, excavation, tools, equipment, machinery, and work from becoming unsafe.
Okay, Saruran. Then what are the employees' responsibilities?
The workers are responsible for their own safety on the job. This means that you have the right to refuse to do any act or operate any tool, appliance, or equipment when you have reasonable cause to believe that to do so will put you in danger. It's your responsibility to wear proper clothing for the job site and to use the PPE provided by your employer or required for your job. As a worker, you should keep the following personal responsibilities in mind. You must not remove any safety equipment from machines or equipment. This includes shields from grinders, mixers, and etc. You must have adequate instruction about a piece of machinery or equipment before you use it. You must make sure that no machine, equipment, or tool is used in a way that will cause injury to someone else.
Okay, Saruran. Okay, for the next question, can you briefly give all laws in force in DOSH?
There are three laws enforced in DOSH, which is Factories and Machinery Act FMA 1967, Occupational Safety and Health Act 1994, and Petroleum Safety Measures Act 1984.
Okay, then what are the responsible for DOSH?
DOSH is responsible for ensuring the safety, health, and welfare of people at work, as well as protecting other people and public from safety and health hazards arising from the activities in the following sectors: manufacturing, mining and quarrying, construction, hotels and restaurants, agriculture, forestry and fishing, transport, storage and communication, public service and statutory authorities, utilities, gas, electricity, water and sanitary services, finance, insurance, real estate and business services, and the lastly is wholesale and retail trades.
Okay, thank you, Sarunan, for your sharing. The next question is how we can implement the strategies for improving occupational safety and health management performance.
Among the most common errors that occur is the inadequate response to new and emerging risks at the workplace. The most prominent example is the issue of psychosocial and organizational risk, despite the fact that they currently belong to the most important OSH risk factors. They are indicators that the management of psychosocial risk not only remains an uncovered issue in OSH management, but also in certification audits. Other frequent points of non-compliance with legal provisions are focusing on accident prevention only instead of ill health prevention in general. Secondly, not including external service providers such as maintenance workers or cleaners. Not including workplaces of temporary workers. Not meeting formalities, example documentation of risk assessment. And lastly is not involving workers or their representatives.
Okay, Sarunan. The next question is, what are the obligations of the employers toward the employees?
The employer should be obligated to protect the employees in relation to safety, health, and welfare through the following procedures, which are to provide and maintain a safe plan and working system, put in place procedures so as to ensure safety and health in the usage, handling, storage, and transportation of the plant and supplies. Provide information, instruction, training, and supervision for new and old employees. Maintain a working environment that is safe and free from health hazards. Provide the necessary amenities for the welfare of those who are working.
So, is this acceptable that the workers must pay themselves for their personal safety equipment?
Employer must provide and pay for all other personal protective equipment, which are PPE, required for the job. If the employees have an allergic reaction or other adverse health effect from employer-provided PPE, such as latex gloves, the employee is responsible for providing an appropriate and equally protective substitute. Companies are urged to maintain the highest standards of safety and health in conformity with national requirements. A key first step is promoting within the enterprise a culture of implementation where the right to a safe and healthy work environment is respected and where employers and workers actively participate to secure a safe and healthy working environment.
Okay, Sarunan, for the next question, what about the responsibilities of the employees at the workplace?
Every employee has the responsibility to be reasonably attentive so as to avoid injury onto themselves as well as others while carrying out their work activities and cooperate with the employer and others so as to fulfill the provision of the law.
Okay, for the last question on this first topic, what to do during an OSHA inspection?
The OSHA inspection begins when the compliance officer arrives at the establishment. If an OSHA inspector arrives unexpectedly at your job site, you should immediately inform your supervisor, who will in turn contact environmental, healthy, and safety. Destination and duration of the inspection are determined by the compliance officer. The supervisor will be briefed and to the point with his her answers, offering no additional information and take the inspector to his destination along the most direct route, avoiding detours that might expand the inspection. The inspector may point out unsafe or unhealthy work condition during the walk through the and make offer technical advice on how to eliminate hazards. During the closing conference, the inspector will discuss all unsafe or unhealthy conditions involved in violation which may be cited. We will have the opportunity to produce all records that show compliance efforts or that will assist OSHA in determining the time needed for abatement of the hazards. The inspector will not indicate any proposed penalties as they are determined by the area director. Employer must then post a copy of each citation at or the near place a violation occurred. It will It will remain there for the 3 days or until the violation is abated, whichever is longer.
Okay, thank you, Saronan, for sharing for the first topic. Now we will be proceed to the next topic. We are going to interview the Occupational Safety and Health Act in Malaysia and its salient features. From my point of view, OSHA or Act 514 provides the legislative framework for the safety, health and welfare among all Malaysian workforces. Principle is to prevent and protect the workers against hazard and its risk in connection with their activities at work. It requires all companies to establish and document such as safety and health policies, duties of the employees, and the safety and health officers, the safety and health committee of companies, and occupational safety and health inspection and officers. Saronan, can you explain a little bit about the Occupational Safety and Health Act in Malaysia?
Um, yes, actually there are 14 part and among them, an act to establish the National Council for Occupational Safety and Health and to make further provision for securing the safety, health and welfare of person at work, for protecting others against risks to safety or health in connection with persons at work and for matters connected. Be enacted by the Sri Paduka Baginda Yang Dipertua Agong in the presence of Dewan Rakyat, Dewan Negara, and by the authority of the same.
Okay, next, can you please list several of regulations under OSHA?
Yes, actually there are 14 part and among them are notification of accidents, dangerous occurrence, occupational poisoning and occupational disease and inquiry. This part told us about an employee should notify the nearest occupational safety and health office of any issues or situation that mentioned before which has occurred or is likely to occur at the place of work. Then every registered medical practitioner or medical officer attending to or called in to visit a patient whom he believes to be suffering from any of the disease listed in third schedule of the Factories and Missionary Act 196, which is an act of 139. Third schedule is occupation that involve with special risk to health. For example, any occupation or process carried on in compressed air. Beside any disease that named in any regulation or order made by the minister under this act, or occupational poisoning should report the matter to the Director General.
Okay, Saronan. Lastly, from the regulations that you listed, what is their salient features?
For this part, I will explain only one salient feature, which is dangerous occurrence that I mentioned before. There are many salient that can be discussed from this regulation, and most of them are area of location in the workplace itself. The classification of the dangerous occurrence, classification of occupation, and types of industrial accidents, types of injury, and many others. So I will explain for how to handle the accident that bring the implication to the workers. First, who was injured? We should know who is injured. Is it one of the employees that working in premises or any other person who is not an employee at work, but who is either in premises under higher level control at the time or otherwise involved in accident that resulting fatal? If fatal happened, so the incapacity for more than 4 days, while for self-employee causing incapacity for less than 5 days. From this injury, there must be take an action that required to solve the problem. Then if the injury involves dead body, it must be notified nearest DOS state office immediately, while if it involves with poisoning. You should send a report using a JKKP form. If I'm not mistaken, it was JKKP 6 and JKKP 7 to DOS within 7 days of the accident, not more and less. Lastly, make and keep record of the accident if it consists of small injury before 31st of January of each year.
All right, thank you, Saronan, for your sharings and explaining the information and details for today's topics. And I think by this sharing, we able to learn and gain more knowledge of both of the act that being implemented in our country. As conclusion, although more than 18 years have passed since OSHA was first implemented in Malaysia, but OSHA has not been evaluated. As Malaysia has always been a fast-growing country for the past 3 decades, certain provisions are in place that may no longer be compatible with the current situation. Therefore, I wish by this discussion we are able to apply the knowledge and awareness of this particular issue and make more changes and improvement by our generation continuously. Lastly, good job and thanks for your valuable time for joining this discussion. Stay safe and goodbye.
Thank you. Have a nice day.